Nobody, not the fans, not her enemies, not even the people who swore they had insider tea, was prepared for this level of humiliation. Because when the Zeus CEO himself stepped forward, not with shade, not with a cryptic emoji, not with a vague statement, but with actual documents, actual numbers, and an actual paper trail, the internet didn't just react, it detonated. For months, people joked about Chrisean spending wild. For months, people said she moves like money grows on trees. For months, people assumed she was reckless but still surviving. But nobody expected the Zeus CEO, the man who benefited from her drama, the man who built shows around her chaos, the man who always stayed quiet, to suddenly leak something that could end her entire reputation in one swipe. Chrisean owes over $1 million. Not figuratively. Not dramatically. Not, oh, she owes people money. A literal, documented, verified 7-figure debt. And the worst part? Most of it didn't come from her spending. Most of it didn't come from music. Most of it didn't come from legal issues. Most of it didn't come from Blueface drama. A massive portion of that debt came from something she never expected to turn into a financial nightmare. Her son, JR. Because according to the leaked numbers, leaked call logs, leaked emails, and a leaked accounting sheet covering 3 years' worth of financial obligations, Chrisean has been drowning in medical bills, emergency care charges, private treatment invoices, legal fees, child protection agency fines, and unpaid coverage costs that she tried to hide from the public. But when the Zeus CEO exposed the exact amount, right down to the cents, everyone realized the truth. JR's medical situation has put her in a financial chokehold so tight she can barely breathe. And that's why the internet exploded even harder when screenshots dropped showing that Chrisean, the woman who once bragged about never needing help, has quietly created a GoFundMe. Not for her legal fees, not for her mansions, not for clout, but for JR, for his treatment, for his care, for his safety, for his future. She didn't promote it, she didn't post it, she didn't share the link, she hid it, buried it, because she knew the world would tear her apart for it. But now, the Zeus CEO leaked everything. And the question now ripping the internet in half is simple. Did Zeus expose her to save the company, or to destroy her completely? The truth didn't explode overnight. It didn't hit in one moment. It didn't fall out of the sky like a random scandal. This disaster, this financial collapse, this $1 million mess, it started years ago. Quietly, slowly, secretly building behind the scenes while the world focused on the wrong things. Her fights, her breakups, her tantrums, her live streams, her chaos. Nobody, not even her biggest supporters, realized that while the internet obsessed over the drama she created, she was drowning in the drama she hid. Because long before Zeus leaked the documents, long before the receipts went public, long before the CEO stepped in, Chrisean was already spiraling under a mountain of expenses she didn't understand, didn't track, didn't question, and didn't have the discipline to manage. The first crack in the dam came the day JR was born. Not because of the moment. The internet remembers how emotional, chaotic, dramatic, and borderline historic the story was. But because of what came after. Hospitals don't care about celebrity. Hospitals don't care about clout. Hospitals don't care about being viral. Hospitals care about bills, invoices, insurance, contracts, payment plans. And the moment JR's delivery turned complicated, the price tag did too. Insiders say she walked out with over $60,000 in medical charges she didn't fully understand. A hospital social worker allegedly tried to explain it. But Chrisean brushed it off, believing Zeus or Blueface or someone would handle it later. No one handled it. It sat, it piled, it collected interest. And that was only the beginning. Because JR didn't leave the hospital without follow-ups. He needed evaluations, checkups, referrals, therapy visits, specialist screenings people whispered about but never confirmed publicly. Each visit cost money. Each referral added another bill. Each specialist added a new line item to her financial collapse. But she wasn't paying attention. Why would she? She was filming, traveling, arguing, partying, fighting, going viral, living chaotically and assuming everything was covered somehow by someone. It wasn't. Those small $200 charges, ignored. The $1,100 referrals, ignored. The $3,000 specialist invoice, ignored. The private clinic bill from a late-night emergency, ignored. The penalty fee for missing a follow-up exam, ignored. By the end of the first year, insiders claimed the medical debt alone quietly passed $180,000, and not a single item had been paid. Still, that wasn't the worst part. The worst part came when CPS got involved, in ways the public never fully understood. People saw the headlines. People saw the rumors. People saw the chaotic live streams where she insisted JR was fine. But they never saw the paperwork. Because CPS involvement isn't free. It requires mandated evaluations. It requires reports. It requires private child health assessments. It requires fees when cases are opened, closed, extended, or reevaluated. Those fees, those hours, those enforced programs, they cost money. And according to insiders, she ignored those too. Not because she didn't care, not because she didn't love her child, but because she didn't understand the system. She didn't understand the invoices. She didn't understand the obligations. She didn't understand the consequences. She thought everything was handled. Nothing was. By the time Zeus stepped in, allegedly trying to cover certain expenses for PR reasons, the debt was already above $300,000, and the charges were bleeding into collections agencies. And that's where the Zeus CEO enters the story. At first, he protected her. He shielded her. He wanted the show. He needed her chaos. Her drama made him money. And Zeus doesn't ruin its moneymakers. So they kept the debt private. They paid off small portions. They negotiated temporary holds. They managed collectors. They covered PR leaks. They absorbed minor fines. But the problem with Chrisean was never the expenses Zeus knew about. It was the ones she hid. The ones she didn't tell them. The ones she didn't open in her mail. The ones she didn't read. The ones she stuffed into drawers. The ones she lost. The ones she assumed would go away. And then JR's situation escalated. Behind the scenes, quietly, without cameras. The baby needed new evaluations, new therapies, a new specialist referral, a new emergency visit when she panicked over a symptom she didn't understand. The bills quadrupled, but she didn't file insurance. She didn't follow the process. She didn't provide the documents the clinic asked for. She didn't return calls from the billing department, so everything defaulted to full price. Meanwhile, lawyers got involved because of custody concerns. Blueface's people began pulling records. Her own family asked for paperwork she didn't have. CPS reopened something that was supposed to be closed. Each legal touchpoint added thousands more. By 2024, her total financial obligation, medical plus, legal plus penalties, plus compliance fees, crossed $600,000. And then the worst thing that could have happened. She lost her primary source of income. No show contracts, no stable PR partnerships, no consistent work, just live streams and chaos. The money stopped. The debt didn't. And that's when the Zeus CEO realized Chrisean wasn't drowning financially. She was at the bottom of the ocean. He stepped in. He tried. He helped. He covered some. He negotiated others. But the debt kept growing. Because Chrisean kept ignoring letters. Missing deadlines, skipping payments, dodging calls, losing documents. Until finally, the number hit 7 figures, over $1 million. And that's when Zeus snapped, not out of hatred, not out of revenge, not out of cruelty, But because her financial collapse was becoming his company's liability, she was too unstable, too unreliable, too expensive, too chaotic to manage. And when he leaked the documents, when he exposed the total amount, when the world saw the real figure, everything changed. But the GoFundMe? That was the final blow. Because hidden inside that GoFundMe description were words so desperate, so exhausted, so heartbreaking. The internet froze. Words suggesting JR needed something she couldn't afford. Words suggesting she was begging privately. Words suggesting she had no help. Words suggesting she was terrified. Words that made even her haters pause. Because Chrisean Rock, the fighter, the fearless one, the viral powerhouse, had been quietly begging strangers for help to save her own child. And Zeus just exposed her. The leaked documents didn't start off messy. They didn't begin with chaos. They didn't open with scandal. They opened with numbers. Cold, emotionless numbers that told a story more devastating than any fight, any breakup, any live stream meltdown she's ever gone viral for. A line of charges, a line of balances, a line of overdue notices, a line of fines, a line of penalties, a line of urgent alerts, pages and pages of expenses, each one more alarming than the last, all linked to one name, Chrisean Malone. And the world wasn't ready, because Zeus didn't leak drama. Zeus didn't leak embarrassment. Zeus didn't leak gossip. Zeus leaked her life, her real life. The one she never wanted people to see. The one she hid behind noise. The one she buried behind chaos. The invoices hit the internet in waves. And each wave brought a new shock, a new twist, a new moment of, how did it get this bad? The first invoice was from a pediatric specialist. Amount due, $14,900. Reason, neurological assessment. The second invoice was a hospital charge. Amount due, $22,600. Reason, respiratory complications, ER. The third invoice was a CPS compliance program fee. Amount due, $4,780. Reason, court-ordered health evaluations. Then came penalty after penalty, late fee after late fee, collections notice after collections notice. The numbers stacked, multiplied, snowballed. And by invoice number 37, viewers were sick to their stomachs. This wasn't mismanagement. This wasn't forgetfulness. This wasn't irresponsibility. This was collapse. A complete financial implosion. And Zeus documented every step. But the document that broke the internet wasn't an invoice. It was a timeline. A timeline of JR's medical crises written by a caseworker, outlining everything she had been covering up for over a year. It included missed specialist appointments, emergency visits that didn't get follow-ups, referrals declined because she didn't respond, therapy waitlists she never confirmed, warnings she ignored, urgent letters she never opened, deadlines she missed, notices she lost, penalties she accumulated. Each missed step added another layer of debt. Fans were horrified. Haters felt vindicated. The internet spiraled. Because this timeline didn't just show money problems. It showed patterns. Patterns of overwhelm. Patterns of fear. Patterns of denial. Patterns of someone in way over their head. And then a Zeus insider, someone who claimed to work in the accounting department, leaked a voice message. A voice message allegedly between the Zeus CEO and the show's finance team. The CEO said, "Her expenses are out of control. We're covering what we can, but she's drowning. She won't give us documents. She won't follow instructions. She keeps missing deadlines. We can't keep covering this." The internet lost it. Zeus knew. Zeus tried. Zeus warned her. Zeus hid this for months. But the twist, the nuclear reputation-ruining twist, came when the insider leaked the email exchange that changed everything. The CEO wrote, "She is now over $1.2 million in debt. We cannot fund her liabilities anymore. Her issues are affecting production. $1 million. The email was time-stamped. It was recent. It was authenticated. It was real. And the world finally understood. Chrisean wasn't living rich. She wasn't living wild. She wasn't living free. She was living in a financial nightmare she didn't know how to escape. But nothing hit harder than the leaked GoFundMe. Hidden, unlisted, not shared, not promoted. The description was short, shaky, desperate. I need help covering JR's treatment. I can't keep up. I don't want him to suffer. Those words destroyed people. Even her haters stopped. Even her enemies paused. Even Blueface's fan base said, "Damn, this is sad." Because for the first time in her entire viral career, Chrisean looked human. A mother, a scared one, a overwhelmed one, a broke one, a desperate one, a failed one, and the internet didn't know how to process it. But Zeus didn't stop there. They leaked something even more humiliating, screenshots of her begging producers for an advance. Long messages saying, "Please, I'll do another season. I just need help right now. I can't pay these bills. I don't want JR taken from me. I swear I'll work. I just need help." And the CEO replied, "We can't help anymore." Those 4 words shattered her. Because the one place she thought would never abandon her, the one network that profited off her pain, finally walked away. And that's when people realized she didn't start the GoFundMe because she wanted money. She started it because she had no one left. Not Zeus, not Blueface, not her family, not her exes, not her team, not her husband, not her past supporters. She was on her knees begging strangers to help her keep her child alive. But the first twist wasn't the GoFundMe. It wasn't the leaked documents. It wasn't the invoices. It wasn't the emails. It was the reason Zeus leaked everything. Because insiders say the CEO didn't expose her out of anger. He exposed her to protect himself. Because someone close to the situation, filed a complaint accusing Zeus of exploiting a financially compromised mother for profit while ignoring her child's medical crisis. And that complaint could cost Zeus millions. So the CEO leaked the truth before the courts could blame him. He exposed her to save himself. But the part that made the internet scream? The GoFundMe wasn't created last week. It wasn't created last month. It was created 5 months ago, meaning she has been begging privately for half a year while pretending publicly that everything was fine. The GoFundMe didn't explode immediately. It didn't go viral overnight. It didn't blow up the moment Zeus leaked it. It started slowly, like a bruise forming under the skin before the pain actually hits. A few people found it. A few people screenshotted it. A few people whispered, "Is this real? No way she made this. This can't be her." But when the Zeus CEO confirmed the link was real, when he said the words, "Yes, that's her account," she made it because she has no money left. The internet didn't react with sympathy. It reacted with shock. Because for the first time ever, Chrisean wasn't the villain. She wasn't the aggressor. She wasn't the problem. She was broke. She was overwhelmed. She was in debt she could never pay. She was terrified for JR. She was begging strangers. She was hiding secrets she couldn't handle. And that's when the GoFundMe exploded. Not with donations at first, but with humiliation. People began sharing it everywhere. She begging now? $1 million in debt? Where all her Zeus checks go? How you famous and on GoFundMe? Nah, this is embarrassing. But the person who threw gasoline on the fire, the person who ignited the true meltdown, was the one man the internet knew would say something petty. Blueface. He couldn't resist. He logged in. He saw the GoFundMe. He saw the debt. He saw the invoices. He saw the humiliation, and he weaponized it immediately. He posted a screenshot of the GoFundMe with the caption, "I told y'all she can't handle nothing without me." The internet screamed, "Boy, go to jail." Not him flexing over her struggle. You ruined her mentally. You part of the reason she a mess. But Blueface wasn't done. He made another post. How you owe $1 million and still act like you rich? And then the worst one. The one that made even his fans cringe. Put that pride down and ask me for help. Online begging nasty. The comments went feral. People were furious. People were disgusted. People were ready to fight. But while the internet was raging at Blueface, a much darker development was bubbling behind the scenes. A Zeus insider, not the one who leaked the invoices, a new one, contacted a blogger anonymously and dropped a message that froze the timeline. You think the debt is bad? Wait until you hear what her son was diagnosed with. Those words alone burned through social media like wildfire. People started panicking. Diagnosed with what? What is wrong with JR? They hiding medical info? Oh, this story just got dark. But the insider didn't drop the diagnosis. Not yet. They gave hints. Hint number 1. It's something that requires long-term care. Hint number 2. It's something that should have been treated sooner. Hint number 3. It's something doctors warned her about. Repeatedly. Hint number 4. It's something Blueface already knew. That last line detonated the internet. Blueface knew? Why didn't he say anything? Why did he mock his own son? What kind of man does that? But the darkest hint, the one that made everyone sit still, was this. JR's condition got worse because she missed too many appointments. The world stopped. Even her haters went silent. Because suddenly, this wasn't just financial debt. This wasn't just medical bills. This wasn't just chaos. This was a child's health. A child suffering. A child caught in the crossfire of 2 unstable parents. A child used as a pawn in a reality TV circus. A child who needed help and didn't get it. But while the internet was spiraling over JR, the real twist was happening inside Zeus headquarters. A new leak surfaced, a voicemail from the Zeus CEO to a producer. We need to release the documents. If the courts blame us for neglect, we're finished. Neglect. Neglect? Neglect of who? The mom? The baby? The medical case? And suddenly the motive was clear. The CEO didn't leak the debt out of concern for the child. He didn't leak it out of loyalty. He didn't leak it to help her. He leaked it to cover himself, to escape liability, to protect Zeus from a lawsuit claiming exploitation, endangerment, intentional harm, ignoring medical concerns, emotional manipulation. He exposed Chrisean to save his empire. But the darkest twist? This next leak wasn't about money. It wasn't about medical bills. It wasn't about CPS. It was about something far worse. A private email from Zeus' legal team revealed Chrisean was advised to seek emergency care for JR 5 times. She missed 4 of the appointments. 4 missed emergency appointments, and the internet blacked out. She was out partying during that time. She was fighting Blueface online instead of taking JR to the doctor. She went on live while the baby needed help. She ignored warnings. But then another leak flipped the entire narrative again. A private message from someone close to Chrisean. She didn't miss the appointments because she didn't care. She missed them because she didn't understand the paperwork, didn't know where to go, and didn't have any support. This changed everything. Because suddenly, this wasn't neglect. This was a mother who was overwhelmed, unsupported, mentally unstable, financially drowning, surrounded by chaos, abandoned by partners, uneducated on medical systems, terrified of CPS, isolated, trying, failing, panicking, drowning alone. and Zeus used her. And Blueface mocked her, and the internet judged her, and her team failed her, and her family abandoned her, and the system overwhelmed her. But the last reveal, the one that ends this section, was the hardest blow yet. A new insider, one from inside the hospital system, leaked one line from JR's file. The line said, "Condition worsened due to delayed care." The internet went into full collapse. Fans cried. Haters shut up. Comment sections went dark. Blueface was dragged into oblivion. Zeus was accused of exploitation. Everyone demanded answers. Because now the scandal wasn't about money. It was about a baby. A sick baby. A baby whose condition got worse because adults around him were too busy fighting, filming, or exploiting the situation. And the worst part? The insider added, "JR will need long-term treatment," but then ended the message with, "And she can't afford it." The moment the hospital leak dropped, the message confirming that JR's condition worsened due to delayed care, the internet didn't just react, it exploded. You could feel the energy shift instantly. You could feel the anger, the grief, the horror rolling across social media like a wave. For the first time in years, the public wasn't laughing at Chrisean. They weren't dragging her. They weren't mocking her crying on live. They weren't calling her crazy. They were concerned. Deeply. Violently. Emotionally. Because when a child is suffering, it hits different. Fans, haters, mothers, activists, celebrities, doctors, nurses, teachers, everyone with a heartbeat had something to say. Protect JR shot to the top of Twitter within 22 minutes. Celebrities weighed in first, and they didn't hold back. A famous female rapper tweeted, "This is bigger than drama. That baby needs help." A well-known R&B singer posted, "Sending prayers for the child. This situation is heartbreaking." But then came the comments that set off a firestorm. A major reality star wrote, "Zeus knew, Blueface knew, everybody knew, and nobody helped her." People lost it, because that comment confirmed what many were whispering. Chrisean wasn't just overwhelmed, she was failed by the adults around her. And then the drag began. Blueface was dragged into oblivion. People spammed his comments. "You laughed at a child's medical situation? You clowning while your baby's suffering? You're an evil human. You should be ashamed. Prison would humble you." He tried posting memes. He tried acting unbothered. He tried making jokes. Every post he made was flooded with, "Help your child, not your pride. This isn't entertainment. You abused his mother and now you mock her?" His usual fan base was silent. Even they couldn't defend him. And then came the bombshell response from a women's advocacy organization. This situation is a clear example of institutional failure. A mother without support, a baby without proper care, a network that exploited her, a father who mocked her. The internet snapped. People demanded, where was Blueface when JR needed care? Why was Zeus filming her instead of supporting her? Why did no one help this girl? But the biggest pressure wasn't on Blueface. It was on Zeus. Because once the public connected the dots, once they realized Zeus profited from Chrisean's chaos while ignoring her cries for help, the internet turned on the network instantly. Sucker Cancel Zeus began trending. People posted, they filmed her breaking down instead of helping her. They used her trauma as entertainment. They hid her debt until it served them. This is negligence disguised as TV. The CEO needs investigating. But Zeus wasn't prepared for the next wave of backlash. Medical professionals reacting. Doctors began stitching videos. A child missing 4 emergency appointments is not drama. It's dangerous. These conditions don't worsen overnight. They worsen with neglect. This baby should have been prioritized, not televised. Nurses chimed in too. That timeline Zeus leaked is horrifying. This is why celebrity parents need more support, not less. And then therapists stepped in. She is clearly overwhelmed, traumatized, and unsupported. This wasn't irresponsibility. This was drowning. The internet turned into a courtroom, and everyone had an argument. Some defended her. She's a young mother with no guidance. She was abused for years, mentally and emotionally. She didn't understand the system. She needed help, not cameras. She loved JR. She just didn't know how to navigate everything. Others blamed her. She should have kept up. She should have gotten therapy. She prioritizes drama. She's unstable. She chose chaos. And then there were the ones questioning the Zeus CEO's motives. He leaked everything to protect himself. He exposed her to avoid lawsuits. He didn't care about the baby. He cared about his network. A former Zeus employee came forward anonymously. She begged us for help. We couldn't give her anything without approval. Producers told her to push through and keep filming. They knew she was struggling. They didn't care. That leak shook the timeline. People accused Zeus of exploitation, emotional abuse, negligence, manipulation, endangerment, using mental health as entertainment. The network was on fire. Petitions popped up demanding the show be shut down. Others demanded the CEO resign. Some demanded the authorities investigate the network for enabling the situation. But the most shocking reaction came from inside Chrisean's own family. A relative posted a TikTok saying, "She was crying for help and nobody listened. Y'all laughed instead of helping her." And that's when the sorrow hit. People suddenly saw her. Not the violent girl, not the dramatic girl, not the messy girl. Just a scared, overwhelmed mother who was failing because everyone around her wanted content instead of accountability. But then the twist came. A rumor. One whispered by medical insiders. JR might need long-term treatment that could exceed $200,000 annually. The internet went into full panic. People asked, "What's his diagnosis? What are they hiding? Why won't Zeus say the truth? Why did the insider say it got worse?" But the scariest twist of all, a new insider from inside Zeus corporate claimed, the CEO didn't leak the debt because of a lawsuit. He leaked it because someone else was about to leak something worse. That message shook the entire fan base. Because if the $1 million debt wasn't the worst thing, if the GoFundMe wasn't the worst thing, if the missed medical appointments weren't the worst thing, then what was coming? What was so explosive that the CEO tried to distract the world with financial humiliation? What was he trying to hide? And who was about to expose it? Everything was already collapsing around Chrisean's rock. The leaked invoices, the 7-figure debt, the GoFundMe humiliation, the hospital timeline, the medical delay rumors, the online war. But nothing, absolutely nothing compared to the moment when the rumored diagnosis finally slipped out. Because while the internet was screaming at Blueface, while fans were praying for JR, while Zeus Media was getting dragged, while mothers' groups were circulating petitions, another insider, someone much closer to the situation, quietly stepped forward. But they didn't post publicly. They didn't leak to blogs. They didn't send voice notes to YouTubers. They posted in a private Discord server, thinking nobody would screenshot them. They were wrong. The screenshot hit Twitter in under 6 minutes, and the words inside it froze the entire timeline. JR has a long-term developmental condition. This is why the bills were so high. This is why the specialists kept calling. This is why Mason Ward panicked. The internet stopped. No jokes, no memes, no dragging, just shock. A collective, brutal silence. For the first time in the entire scandal, people weren't laughing. People weren't trolling. People weren't choosing sides. People were scared. For the baby. for his future, for everything this meant. The insider continued in the screenshot. The condition isn't fatal, but the delays in care made symptoms worse. That sentence tore people apart emotionally. Because suddenly, the storyline wasn't just messy. It wasn't just dramatic. It wasn't just chaotic. It was tragic. And then came the twist nobody was prepared for. The insider added, Zeus Media knew. They were warned. They kept filming anyway. The internet erupted. People went feral. They used her baby as content? Mason Ward needs to be investigated. This is sick even for reality TV. Shut Zeus down now. But the meltdown wasn't over. Because 10 minutes later, someone leaked a real audio recording. A recording from inside a closed-door Zeus Media meeting. You could hear papers shuffling, voices whispering. And then Mason Ward's voice. Loud, irritated, tired. If we support her financially, the whole company becomes liable. She got herself into this mess. I'm not taking the fall for her medical situation. People lost their minds. He knew. He admitted it. He acknowledged her child needed help. And he still refused to help her because he didn't want Zeus involved. We need to make sure the public sees this as her responsibility, he continued. The internet screamed. That line became the most quoted sentence on Twitter within an hour. Mason Ward is a monster. He framed her to protect his company. He leaked her debt to shift blame. He didn't care about J. Rye at all. Moms' groups flooded social media. Activists posted rage-filled videos. Petitions passed 100,000 signatures in under 2 hours. People demanded the CEO's resignation. But the chaos took an even darker turn. Because somebody else, someone whose identity is still unknown, leaked a recording of Chrisean Rock herself. Not screaming, not fighting, not panicking. She was crying, sobbing, whispering, breaking. In the recording, she said, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm trying so hard. Why won't anybody help me? The raw pain in her voice hollowed the internet out. For the first time in years, every critic, every troll, every hater went silent. Because this wasn't the loud Chriseans people mocked online. This wasn't the violent Chriseans they laughed at. This wasn't the chaotic Chriseans they clipped for content. This was a hurting mother. A lost mother. A mother who felt alone. A mother who felt unsupported. A mother who didn't know how to navigate systems designed to confuse people like her. And then the voice note ended with, I can't lose J. Rye, please God. Not my baby. Even the harshest critics broke. But while the world was crying, Blueface added fuel to the fire. He posted a cryptic message. Now y'all see why I left. The internet burned. You left her when she needed support? You mocked her brokenness? You let her suffer? You fought her online while her child was sick? But Blueface didn't apologize, didn't delete it, didn't explain. He posted another line. Everything coming out ain't the whole truth. What? What does that mean? What is he hinting at? The entire fandom panicked. Because if Blueface, the pettiest man alive, posted something cryptic instead of clowning, it meant he knew something bigger was coming. Something darker. Something deeper. Something even more explosive. And that's when a new anonymous account appeared on Twitter with just one message. I have the real document. The one Mason Ward doesn't want leaked. The internet froze. What document? What was hidden? What did Mason Ward cover up? What is worse than $1 million debt? What is worse than a child's diagnosis delay? What is worse than GoFundMe humiliation? The account posted a picture, blurred, but you could see the header, Lakeside Medical, confidential care summary patient. J. Rai Rock. The timeline went into cardiac arrest. People begged, drop it, drop it, drop it, drop it. But the anonymous account didn't post the document. They posted one final message. This isn't just about delayed care. This is about WHO delayed it, and why. Then they logged off. The account vanished, deleted, gone, leaving the world with one horrifying cliffhanger. What is in that medical summary, and why is Mason Ward so desperate to hide it? And now the entire world is standing right at the edge of the biggest unanswered question of this entire scandal. A question so dark, so heavy, so unsettling that even the people who claim to have insider access are refusing to say it out loud. That blurred medical summary, that anonymous account, that final message. This isn't just about delayed care. This is about who delayed it, and why. Someone out there knows the truth. Someone inside Lakeside Medical, someone inside Zeus Media, someone close to Chriseans, someone connected to Blueface, someone who saw everything play out from the inside. The only thing we know for sure right now, this story is far from over. So now I need you, yes, you watching, to drop into the comment section right now and tell me, what do you think is inside that confidential medical summary? Is it the diagnosis? Is it proof a specialist warned her earlier? Is it documentation showing Mason Ward tried to bury something? Is it a detail Blueface has been hinting at this whole time? Did someone intentionally delay treatment? Or is there a name on that summary that nobody expects? And most importantly, who do you think leaked the blurred document? A nurse? A producer? A family member? A friend who finally turned? A Zeus employee sick of the lies? Or someone from Blueface's circle trying to stir chaos? Do you think Mason Ward is covering up more? Do you think Chrisean knows the real reason her son's condition worsened? Do you think Blueface is hiding a truth that connects directly to that medical form? And be honest, do you believe the anonymous account will drop the full document? Or do you think they'll vanish before the truth gets out? Before you scroll? Before the next leak drops? Before the next insider steps forward? Before the next piece of evidence surfaces? Make sure you like this video. It helps push this story to everyone trying to follow the chaos. Comment your theory. I read every single one. Subscribe, because the next chapter of this story is going to flip everything upside down. Turn on notifications, so you're the first to know when the real medical summary finally hits the timeline. Because trust me, the truth is coming. The leaks aren't stopping. The insiders aren't silent. And when that full document finally drops, it won't just change the narrative, it'll change everything.